Welcome back everyone. The iPhone 11 Pro, believe it or not, has actually been out for almost 2 years now. Now, one thing about the 11 Pro, and one reason why I even love talking about this phone, is because this was actually one of the main iPhones that I used at a certain point in my life as a main device. I buy all these iPhones that ever come out, but I don't always keep them as my main device. The 11 Pro, I had it as my main device, and I loved that phone like crazy. In my opinion, it was the best iPhone I ever owned in my life, and I even made that video talking about that exact same thing. Now, with the iPhone 11 Pro, one of the best things about this device was the screen, the build quality, and just the futurability of this phone without a doubt. And Apple did a really good job at that time differentiating it and making it a pretty big upgrade from the iPhone XS. From the iPhone XS to the 11 Pro, even to the whole entire 11 generation, that was a pretty big update in my opinion. Apple did a lot of great things with that transition, and even with the iPhone 12 Pro that I currently own, I miss my 11 Pro. I still own that phone, but I like the 12 Pro. It's a bigger phone, has some cool features, it's faster, whatever. But I had a better experience with that 11 Pro than my 12 Pro right now. Now with the 11 Pro, even 2 years later, I've been using this phone still a little bit. I use the 11 and the 12 and the 12 Pro more, but that 11 Pro with that display, even now it's still a very good display, and if Apple still doesn't bring a 120Hz panel, this display isn't even that bad on it, which is a big thing to keep in mind. That notch up top was annoying then, but it's still here, so it's really not that big of a deal. Lightning port at the bottom, and one of my favorite changes of this specific phone was that frosted glass back. You actually had a really nice feeling phone on the back, and this was one of my favorite advantages of this phone. It just felt so good in the hand. Now with other phones, like they maybe had frosted backs back in the day, but this phone did a really good job, and this frosted back feels better than my 12 Pro's frosted back as well. And then on top of that, you had that triple camera setup on this thing as well, which still looks extremely good. I am somebody that, I don't like overhyping so many things, but with a phone like this that did such a good job at that time, I think even now, it still does a tremendous job at the, specific thing that you give it, which is the performance segment. I think with a phone like this, you're really pretty much set. You can do 4K 60 on the front and the back. You have that triple camera setup, so you can zoom in a lot and zoom out a lot. And I think overall, this is a solid phone that I'm just, super happy with. I think with the camera standpoint, this thing is great. And if you have it still, you're probably not caring about, the next generation or even the next generation of camera, because this thing is still so good. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the future ability of this phone is top tier. You can pick up this phone this year, you can pick it up next year, and you're still going to get several years of software updates, and that is one of the biggest advantages when you go and pick up something like an iPhone, especially with an 11 Pro. It's only one generation behind. It's soon going to be 2 generations behind, but that's still not that big of a difference. Like, you're going to pretty much be set for a pretty long time. So I am somebody that I love this phone. I think it's great in a software standpoint, but even on top of that, the iPhone 11 Pro's performance is really, really good. You can easily, pick up this phone today and still feel like you have a very, performing heavy phone. And that's something I've stated time and time again. I don't like picking up a phone and already having a slow phone and all that stuff. With this device, I do not get that vibe at all. This is a very solid performing phone, and even now it's still one of its top tier features without a doubt. So in terms of that covers up everything with this 11 Pro like a full 2 years later. I think this phone is still completely worth it. I think it's solid. I think if you haven't purchased a phone like this yet, I think you're missing out a little bit, to be honest. This is a very good device. Going from something like an iPhone, 10 to an 11 Pro is a pretty big difference. Even going from like an iPhone XS to an 11 Pro is a pretty big difference as well. So I'd recommend you, if you're somebody who has something like an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, iPhone 6s or older, get the 11 Pro. You can save yourself a bunch of money by getting it rather than getting a brand new phone, and you can still have a very solid performing phone from this thing too. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.